Greetings, fellow musicologists. Alex Tamulis here. Welcome to the channel. Well, this is a special week. It's the release of Senjutsu, Iron Maiden's 17th album, and it's for us to dissect and deconstruct one of my favorite Senjutsu tracks. It's called Days of Future Past. And why? Well, it's the shortest track. It's a rocker and it hits the sweet spot for me. The lyrics, they're full of references, which is just amazing for a song, that's got a repeating chorus. And Bruce was able to add a lot here, as you will see. So I'm going to base my deconstruction off of Bruce's interview with Rolling Stone. The link for the article is in the description below, so just make sure that you check it out. The song is loosely based on John Constantine, so mostly on the Keanu Reeves version, the one that the movie came out in 2005. It's kind of like this Paradise Lost vibe, like Lucifer versus God, battle of angels and devils. It looks like Bruce really digs this stuff, Constantine, a theology, philosophical matters. He talks about it in the Rolling Stone article. I also heard that Steve Harris talks about it. He said that the Book of Souls dealt with those themes, and now they're in their 60s, like 65, I think, and they're just thinking more about death, life, metaphysics, ontology, which are just fancy words when we tackle these impossible questions. What's the meaning of life? What's the nature of being? I'm going to play my intro using my partner in crime here, my Akai Mini. And I'm also going to try with my acoustic guitar here. I'm not going to play it to a T, but it's just to illustrate some of the points that I'm going to talk about later on. I don't know if you've noticed, but some of the accents that Nico was doing with the band, it reminded me of Passchendaele from Dance to Death. I'm going to sing the chorus of Passchendaele on top of the intro for Days of Future Past. Home, far away from the war, a chance to live again. You can tell that they're different, but we can say that they're brothers from the same Maiden. That jokes, I know, sorry about that. Off to the first verse. Obviously very broad, but it's based on what Bruce mentioned in the interview. We noticed that he put God as the villain in this story, full of rage, fury, and he toys with humans who are fighting wars in his name. Humans who are stuck in this burning cage, imprisoned by the fact that we are all sinners. So we can tell that he's going to use the relationship between Constantine and God, like this father-son type of deal. And it's similar to Icarus and Daedalus, which Bruce tackled in Flight of Icarus. So it's basically the son becoming more powerful than the father, the son at least trying to steer clear from some of the father's conceptions, ideas, trying to follow his own path. Anyone who becomes too grandiose, anyone who tries to pass for God can potentially be punished for flying high or, again, this is all Bruce Dickinson, okay? I'm just a reporter here. Let's check the second verse. It's got some really cool references. There's some like, every hour the shadow king wonders what this clock will bring. Lived in love, that's for sure. The fatal quest forevermore. He talks about this Shadow King. It's a Marvel character. Bruce is just a huge comics fan. He likes the Brazilian O Doutrinador as well. So in a sense, the Shadow King is a character that could be seen here as God. He's the Shadow King, toying with humans or being like an evil entity in this case. And Bruce, in an interview, he mentions the Book of Job. He talks about the concept of manipulation, the fact that God wants to be loved, but wants you to prove that you love him. and you need to accept really hard challenges, tough stuff, and you might not comply, you might not accept, you might think, why the hell is this happening to me? And then you just rebel against God, for example. You don't believe me? Let me just put Bruce's words on screen. All I did was write about Keanu Reeves' character who's doomed to walk the earth until he gets his shite together, after which he's approved by God. So who's the manipulative narcissist here? Look at the book of Job. Manipulative narcissism. I'm going to really with your life, and then I want to love you. Is God a psychopath? We'll leave that one to the podcast. I try to take a slightly different take on it, which instead of being compliant with God's requests, he's really pissed off. He's like, what gives you the right to inflict this shit on me? So basically, that's what Bruce says. These matters are very controversial. I know that he's exercising the beautiful aspect of critical reflection over some of the stories that are presented to all of us. He's using the song, his song, to channel these reflections and to promote the ideas to the world. And the good thing about the band is that they can all be different and they can all reason about these questions in their own way, regardless of their beliefs. They're just able to have these outlets to promote their ideas and to respect the other person's opinion. It's okay. It's okay to have dissent. It's a healthy environment for ideas to come to fruition. It's time to check the chorus. Days of future past, to wander on the shore, a king without a queen, to die forevermore, to wander in the wasteland, immortal to the end. Waiting for the judgment, but the judgment never ends. This is really cool, and the melodies are beautiful. Obviously, I'm singing an octave lower, and I'm just kind of like spoken word, okay? So let's talk about the judgment part. Bruce is talking about people who resort to believing that things are going to end, like the apocalypse, which is a theme that he delved into on Writing on the Wall. So let me just quote him again. If you can't cope with the complexities of reality, you go to apocalyptic prophecies. You choose to believe them, and then you have your tribe. You don't even need to read the Bible, since there are plenty of apocalyptic prophecies kicking around. The world was going to end with the Y2K bug. There was going to be an asteroid. There's a million ways the world's going to end. The apocalypse is great stuff for writing songs because it's black and white. It's dramatic. It's devil and God, good versus evil. I always try and fudge it a bit when I'm writing a song. End quote. The days of the future past, that means that the future's still gonna be the same old past. The future is based on the Bible for many people, and that's really old stuff predicting the future, predicting what's gonna happen. God's the king. He doesn't have a queen, right? He's got no wife, no companion, but people will continue dying for God. That's why the die forevermore part. So he says, to wander in the wasteland, right? It can be seen as similar to the concept of Writing on the Wall. Like I said, the music video showed that the wanderers are around and they're just in this wasteland, barren, no water, no trees, just like the Mad Max type of desert. So you can check the analysis on Writing on the Wall right here. The immortal to the end, which means that, whatever, if I live or die, it doesn't matter. I'm going to live through, the stories. I can meet the maker, or I can leave a legacy, and the legacy of ideas on earth. And the judgment, we've already covered. People are waiting for the apocalypse, but so far, nothing's happened. Let's dive right into verse 2. Once crucified, you forgave it all, but my own life condemned to fall. Well, that's clear, right? It's Jesus saying, sacrifice myself, I'm the lamb. You're still condemned to fall because life's going to be hard. People are going to suffer due to unemployment, poverty, violence. Where's the glory in your name? The other verse, right? My twisted soul still burns in flame. Here, again, same thing. I worship this deity, right? And I get pain and suffering in return. Hark, you angels, hear my call. Father, witness to my fall. Between the lines of sin and pain, I walk the earth now doomed again. So here is very much like Constantine, eh? He's the Hellblazer, he's a chain smoker, he's also a humanitarian. He really wants to do some good, but he's sort of this weirdness magnet. But in summary, the song is a reflection of human suffering, human interaction with the occult, the divine, deities, the big questions in life, the philosophical points, right? What to do with all the info that we have, how to behave. This is basically Ethics 101. In my opinion, a successful project. Why? Because it delivers. It gives you a very powerful song in 4 minutes. It's laden with lyrical meaning, catchy melodies, good riffs, Maiden style, one of the strongest tracks for sure. It could have been the second single. Stratego was a good choice because it falls under the same umbrella, and it's amazing that these guys are putting out the music that they're putting out. They're like pushing 65, they're still rocking. So this is truly commendable, and it's a gift for us metal fans to have them around. Well, music is what music does, so please consider subscribing to this channel for more rock and metal lyric deconstruction, bass covers, reviews, essays, you name it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye now.